James here from GoodGuitarist.com, and in today's lesson I'm going to show you how to play Everyday People by Sly and the Family Stone. Now this is a really simple tune. It's just 2 chords. The switch is super quick, and there's a few ways around that. I'll show you all the things you need. This lesson is very beginner friendly because it's just the exact same thing the whole time through. Before we get started, I just want to mention that if you do along the way find that you need any help, I have a couple resources. There's my free ebook and there's also my premium course. There's links to both of those down below, so check them out if you need any extra help. Anyways, the first thing we're going to do is take a look at the chord shapes that we need. There's a G chord and a C over G. Now, most of you are probably familiar with this way of playing G, or like, and in this case, it's actually a lot of work to go from that to C over G. But this way of playing G, just 2 fingers. I have my pinky on the 3rd fret at the highest string, my ring finger on the 3rd fret at the lowest string, and it's muting the A string just because my finger is kind of leaning. You can see that it just has to lean that way. And we actually want that because we're not pressing down this string right here. We'd rather just mute it, get it out of the way. And then when we switch to C over G, all we're doing is adding these 2 fingers right there. That's the same place they are on a C chord. So 1st finger at the 1st fret of the B string, and then my middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D string. And I just want you to practice that. Just holding your chord shape like this, G, C over G, back to G. And that's going to be the only motion that you have to make the whole song. If you're not quite there yet, if you're maybe just getting started and you just want to play your regular old G chord, you can do something that is not going to sound exactly like the song, but it'll be similar enough and it'll give you a good chance to work on it. I'm just taking my G chord and then I'm going to switch to C add 9. That's just these bottom 2 fingers, they're just moving over that way. So G, C, G. It's still a pretty quick switch, but it's a bit easier to make because you're using your dominant fingers, and you're using a really common chord shape. Anyways, I want you to just play around with those chord shapes a little bit, get used to going or, because now we're going to take a look at the counting. This is the most important part of it, is knowing when to switch. So we start off on our G chord, and I want you to count out loud super slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's where we switch to C over G. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and on the and after 4. And then we're gonna take those fingers off on the and after the next 1. So I'll count it out just to show you what I mean. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's what we're going to do first, is get used to doing that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And if you're doing it with the easier chords, same thing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And once you can do it successfully one time, try to do it a bunch of times in a row. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and you just do it a whole bunch of times in a row like that. And that is what this hand is going to be doing during the entire song. Once you have that down, we can move on and learn a strumming pattern that goes with this. So this is, as far as the pattern's concerned, super simple. I'm just going down, up, the whole time. Now, what makes it sound like a particular strumming pattern and not just, and not that, is the dynamics. It's the way that I'm playing. As I'm going down and up, I tend to do it on the lower strings. That gives this song a really strong drive. So I'm not doing all the strings. I'm I'm just doing the lower ones. So just try that at first, just doing that the whole time. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and, you know, add the left hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then once you can do that with the switch on the correct beats, the next thing I would do is add emphasis to certain notes, and then you're done. So our very first strum, do a full strum. 1, and then from here we go back to our lower strum. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And here, when we add the chord, I do a full upstroke, up, and then I do an upstroke when I release, up. So a good way to practice that, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, up, 3, 4. And then it's just a matter of finishing up with this, you know, just doing that in all the spaces. So overall, you're just emphasizing 3 strokes. The very first one, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then you're emphasizing the one where you switch, up, and then the one where you take them back off, up, and then back to this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, up, 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, up, 2 and 3 and 4, and. So take some time with that, work through it in steps like we just did, you know, getting as far as you can, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and maybe that's as far as you can get, and do that a bunch of times. Then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and, you know, and that's as far as you get. Then you add the next bit, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if you can get through it perfectly once, you want to be able to loop it, and then you work on looping it. And once you can do that, you're playing the whole song. So let's try playing through the whole thing for quite a while. Let's have a nice long play along, nice and slow. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'll do it with the other chord shapes, the easier ones. Alright, so that's how you play Everyday People by Sly and the Family Stone. It's a really simple tune, but the important part is that you get that groove, that you get the feeling of it. You know, it's not necessarily about the strumming pattern as much as it is about how you strum it. So I really want you to focus on getting those nice low strums and counting it out. You know, it's really important. Even though the song's just the same thing over and over again, it is important that you get those upstrokes timed perfectly, and that's only going to happen if you count it out loud nice and steady and take your time with it. Either way, have a fun time practicing this one. If you need any extra help, don't forget I have a couple resources, my free ebook and my premium course. Either way, have a good one, and I'll see you soon.